Hey, welcome as we continue looking through our book. Why do we have to say Black Lives Matter? Welcome to Time for All Ages. A few weeks ago, we had a special service and actual human beings actually gathered together outside our building to dedicate this Black Lives Matter sign. So in honor of that event, I got this book, The Elisses and the Time Machine. Why do we have to say Black Lives Matter? It's written by Deval Ellis, illustrated by H. Pax, and published by McBride Stories. It's giving us historical context. Why do we have to say Black Lives Matter? The story revolves around Jackson, 9-year-old Jackson. He and his father were watching a basketball game on TV, and they put up a sign and made a deal about Black Lives Matter. And Jackson asks his father, why do we even have to say that? So the father is putting things in historical context. Just so happens, as we all do, he had a time machine. So they're traveling through history. We've learned about chattel slavery, the Civil War, the Vagrancy Act, black codes. We've learned about Jim Crow and Ku Klux Klan and convict leasing. Now listen, this is heavy and it's not fun, but I do think the historical context is important. So today, fortuitously, we learn about the Tulsa Race Massacre. And I say fortuitously because just this week was the 100th anniversary of the Tulsa Race Massacre. So, according to the father in this story, although many free black people struggled to rebuild their lives after slavery, some got their footing. O.W. Gurley, a black landowner, educator, and entrepreneur, built the Greenwood business district known as Black Wall Street in Tulsa, Oklahoma. He supported other black entrepreneurs to develop Black Wall Street over 15 years as a beautiful community filled with homes, businesses, and schools. Well, on Memorial Day weekend, 1921, almost exactly 100 years ago, Black Wall Street experienced an event it would never recover from. It all started when Sarah Page, a white woman operating an elevator, screamed after Dick Rowland, a young black man, entered the elevator. Rumors and accusations of sexual assault escalated through the police investigation, and an outraged armed mob of white people rioted Black Wall Street. As many as 300 black people died, over 800 were injured, and the 35 city blocks were burned to the ground. Sadly, this event has been left out of many American history books. I'm glad that we're hearing it here, and hopefully you'll research it some more, as I have been. I think to keep it brief, I'm only going to read one more little section, and I hope you appreciate what the little book is doing. It's really building a case for why we have to say out loud, hey, Black Lives Matter. One final little episode of history for today. Redlining. Do some research on that and you'll see that Montgomery definitely has been the site of redlining. In 1934, during the Great Depression, the National Housing Act was enacted to address housing instability. The Federal Housing Administration was established to launch a mortgage insurance program, which consequently led to further segregation and gaps in fair opportunities between white and black communities. The new housing market provided more housing and more neighborhood improvements for white middle class and lower middle class families, while pushing black families into urban housing projects. Additionally, housing credit for mortgages in black neighborhoods was often denied. Special benefits were extended to real estate developers who were building neighborhoods for white Americans with the understanding that no home could be sold to black people. This promoted segregation and contributed to the wealth gap seen today. Let's stop there for today and digest that. As we progress, we'll learn about police brutality, the Black Panther Party, the war on drugs, and mass incarceration. That last one reminds me of a museum that we have right here in Montgomery. Maybe I'll do something with them as we develop this story. The Elisses and the Time Machine. Why do we have to say Black Lives Matter? After such tough history, it's a little awkward to say it, but I do wish you a really great week.